Hello sociologists, welcome back to my channel. I have brought new video in objective series, so let's start. First question, according to Mead, which of the following is not man's psychological development stage? Preparatory stage, performance stage, play stage and game stage. You know that G.H. Mead talked about 3 stages in development of mind, that is preparatory stage, then play stage and then game stage. In play stage there is significant other, while in game stage there is generalized other, and this entire theory came in his book Mind, Self and Society. So preparatory stage yes, performance stage no, play stage yes, game stage yes. So correct answer is performance stage, because answer is which of following is not. Coming to next question. Next question, which of following is structural Marxist? Engels, A.R. Desai, Althusser, Gramsci. Engels was not structural Marxist, he was Marxist, he was collaborator of Karl Marx. A.R. Desai, he wrote book Social Background of Indian Nationalism, and he is called doctrinaire Marxist. Althusser, yes, it is the Louis Althusser who is structural Marxist. Gramsci is cultural Marxist. Alright, he is cultural Marxist. Why? Because he talked about cultural hegemony, civil society. Understand? While Louis Althusser said that, although Louis Althusser said that Marx is correct, economic base or economic infrastructure does influence superstructure, but everything in superstructure is not merely epiphenomena. Rather, he said that social structure largely determine our behavior. That's why he talked about ideological state apparatus and repressive state apparatus. Louis Althusser further talked about overdeterminism, interpellation. I will make a separate video regarding Louis Althusser. Come to the next question. So, who conceptualized informal economy in his study in Ghana? Keith Hart, Mahbub ul Haq, Amartya Sen and Abhijit Banerjee. Yes, it was Keith Hart who was doing his field work in Ghana and conceptualized informal economy. You know what are the 4 characteristics he talked about the informal economy? Most important characteristic, that entry is easy in informal economy, then low capital requirement, then very low degree of skill, and very often it is dominated by migrant labor. Let's come to other options. So Mahbub ul Haq, he conceptualized HDI, Human Development Index. I always say that HDI is HEI. Why? H means health, E for education, I for income. So HDI is HEI. Amartya Sen, you know what Amartya Sen work, right? Nobel laureates. He was with Mahbub ul Haq when they were designing HDI. Abhijit Banerjee is famous for his experimental economics in poverty alleviation. Now come to the next question. Yeah, next question is about Amartya Sen. Amartya Sen economic empowerment approach popularized of 1. Capability model, minimum wage model, right-based approach, none of these. The correct answer is Amartya Sen talked about capability model. You know, Amartya Sen was analyzing famine in India and he figured out that the real problem behind this famine were inability to purchase food. Right? It's not like food were not available, but those people who die hungry, they were not able to purchase food. So it is lack of entitlement, it is the lack of capability. So if you want to empower anyone, enable capabilities. All right. So now come to other option. Minimum wage model. It is followed by International Labour Organization ILO, and right-based approach is followed by, say, World Bank, also Indian government, RBI has also talked about right-based approach. So like give them right, for example, right to food, right? So it becomes duty of government to provide everyone. Coming to the next question. In 1952, CDP or Community Development Program was launched. It failed miserably. To supplement it, government launched a program by 1953. Choose that the program from below. So we all know that Community Development Program, which was launched in 1952, failed miserably. Why? Because lack of fund and also very, say, minimal participation from villages. Benefit was largely reaped by whom? Landlord class, upper caste. All right. So the very basic, say, that idea of community development program begin to question within 1 year. So government launched a scheme called, not land reform, yes, National Extension Service was launched. Land reform has very different thing. You know what are the most important component of land reform? Abolition of zamindari, right? Then land to the tiller, land ceiling, right? And distribution of free land to landless, and then chakbandi, where land is scattered but all land will be brought in at one place. So investment can be done, intensive farming can be done, but land reform has nothing to do with CDP. Family planning again has nothing to do with CDP. When India launched family planning, I think 1952 only, right? Green revolution, it did not start in, say, 1952, 1953. Green revolution start much later on in when 1960s, mid 1960s, right? So green revolution is not. So correct answer is National Extension Services. Come to the next question. India was among the first country to launch a population control measure for family planning in the year. It's a very simple question, and in last question I told that in which year family planning was launched. So if you have paid attention to last question, you can answer this question very easily, and that year is 1952, right? Now come to the next question. So which of the following is not a type of social action by Max Weber? Affective action, coercive action, traditional action, word rational. So Max Weber talked about 4 types of social action: Zweck rational, word rational, affective, and traditional. So Zweck rational, Z is a last word, right? So you can remember Z stand for what? Goal. You know word rational, W, how many V W have? 2V, right? So it related to value. You know, I am doing this. This is a spoon. I am putting knowledge here and feeding to you. Spoon feeding. By simplifying that, word rational has 2V. So it is related to value. So now you see the option. Affective action, yes. Traditional action, yes. Word rational. So there is nothing called coercive action according to Max Weber. And interestingly, in Max Weber typology, there are 4 types of social action, but only he talks about 3 types of authorities, not 4 types of authority. That's a mismatch, and that has been widely debated. Can you write down in comment that which all 3 types of authority has been taught by Max Weber? Thank you. Yeah, coming to next question. So question, which article of Indian Constitution talk about Uniform Civil Code? Article 40. No, Article 40 talks about Panchayat, right? Article 44, yes. Article 46, no, it talks about It talks about educational and economic provision of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other weaker section of society. Article 47 means heaven, right? Means it talks about intoxicating drinks. That's why I wrote heaven, right? I mean reverse of heaven. So come to next question, 109. Who said villages are cesspool of degradation, corruption and wars? Gandhi, Nehru, Ambedkar, Vinoba Bhave. So correct answer is B.R. Ambedkar. B.R. Ambedkar said that Indian villages are cesspools of degradation, corruption and wars. M.K. Gandhi glorified village. Rather, he wanted a self-sustaining village economy. Understand? Gram Swaraj. Gandhi believed that heart and soul of India live in villages. Right? Nehru did not glorify Indian village. He talked about large scale industry and he believed that ultimately these industry will benefit everyone including villages. Vinoba Bhave, he famously launched Bhudan movement. Right? So here correct answer is none but B.R. Ambedkar. Coming to the next question. Dependency theory was heavily inspired from functionalism, Marxism, modernization theory, elite theory. You know na dependency theory, right? In which there is a core and there is a periphery, industrialized core and developing periphery, right? So what will go from periphery to core? Say natural resources, right? And what will go from core to periphery? Say value added product, car, fighter planes, right? So it is a highly unequal relationship and dependency theory was heavily inspired from Marxism. So where dependency theory was developed? It developed in Latin America. Understand? Let's look into the next question to get the clear picture. The main challenge to dependency theory came from world system theory, neo-Marxism, tiger economy, world system theory. The correct answer is tiger economy. What happened that in dependency theory it was widely popularized that the developed core, that is West, and developing rest of the world, they share unequal relations. So core exploit all peripheral country. But then something happened in say in Asia, for example, Singapore, then Taiwan, Hong Kong and South Korea. They dramatically rose to prosperity. Even they begin to export and they become manufacturing hub. Right? So this led to almost discrediting of these dependency theory. Understand? Because many people begin to say, for example, Gunnar Medal said that all right, there may be unequal relation, but what about institution like democracy not functioning in these developing country? So many say liberal thinkers, liberal economists begin to question the entire social structure of those countries which were earlier termed as located in the periphery, right? So the main challenge came from tiger economy. World system theory did not challenge dependency theory, rather world system theory is improvised from dependency theory. Oh, mistakenly I put world system theory twice. Anyway, neo-Marxism has nothing to do with dependency theory. Come to the next question. So who conceptualized world system theory? It is none other than Immanuel Wallerstein. Das Santos, he contributed in core periphery model or dependency theory. Benedict Anderson is famous for imagined community, in which he explained how did modern nationalism grew. Modern nationalism grew out of print capitalism, right? Francis Fukuyama, he is famous for book End of History, right? Now come to the next question. So the theory theory of population growth is propounded by Thomas Malthus, Julian L. Simon, Paul Ehrlich, Rachel Carson. The correct answer is Thomas Malthus. You all know na Malthusian population model in which population grow geometrically while resources grow arithmetically. So ultimately it will lead to population crash due to less resource. Most importantly, food, right? And Julian L. Simon and Paul Ehrlich is famous for a bet. Read that story, right? So how did they bet and what was the outcome of that bet? Rachel Carson is famous for book Silent Spring. Silent Spring is one of the most read book on environment. What happened that Rachel Carson observed that in spring, first tell me what happens in the spring. In spring you see the chirping of birds, but Rachel Carson observed that in that spring birds were not chirping. So she figured out that there is no hatching of egg and new birds are not coming, right? So it was figured out that it is DDT that have been used widely those days as a repellent, or say that to control the population of mosquito. So it did control population of mosquito to certain extent, but it led to weakening of egg cell of birds, and that led to decline in population of birds because eggs were not hatching on the time which were hatching before time. So new birds were not growing. Understand? Now come to the next question. Typology Malik Kisan Mazdoor was coined by Theodore Sanin, B.R. Ambedkar, Daniel Thorner, M.K. Gandhi. The correct answer is Daniel Thorner. Who coined typology? Malik Kisan Mazdoor. Theodore Sanin conceptualized peasant, right? B.R. Ambedkar talked about, he said interestingly, that caste is not only division of labor, but it is division of laborers. How the laborer got divided? Upper caste will have intellectual work, right? For example, Brahmins teaching, right? What Kshatriya would do according to B.R. Ambedkar? They would indulge in, say, police, military. Vaisyas will do what? Trade and commerce, while Sudra will do menial work. So B.R. Ambedkar said, caste is not only division of labor, but it is also division of laborers. M.K. Gandhi did not say anything Malik Kisan Mazdoor. Rather, he talked about trusteeship. Understand that anyone who have money is nothing more than a trustee of that wealth. So he should use that wealth only for welfare of society. And that's how he conceptualized Ram Raj. Right? But many believe that the Gandhian Ram Raj cannot be practiced on the ground because it relied too much on, say, that excellent moral character of those who have wealth, which has not been observed anywhere in the world. So these were the questions. I will come to you with the next video, and guys, please like and subscribe to my channel.